This is the planer thicknesser. Remember, when you're doing any project in our workshop, you need to put your PPE on. Get it on and be safe. Before using the planer thicknesser, turn the big extraction on, green for go. Open the vent next to the machine by sliding it up. This machine has two modes. It's a planer and a thicknesser. It's often left in thicknessing mode, so let's look at how we change it back to the planer. First things first, we need to turn off the feeder feet and lower the bed. Check that the locking mechanism on the bed is loose and begin to turn the wheel to lower it. Lower it as far as it will go. Once you've lowered the bed, there'll be enough room to flip the extraction hood, but be careful because the tube often gets caught on the lid. The next step is to lower the lid. Grab one of the black handles on the edge of the lid and hook your finger round the hinge. Pull forward and then remove your hand from this space, gently lowering the lid. To lock the lid into position, use the pins underneath. Push them towards the blade drum, then turn to tighten. When setting the fence and the blade guard, make sure the machine is turned off, and then use your piece of wood as reference. The aim is to use only as much blade as is necessary for your piece of wood. Next up is setting the blade guard. It moves left and right depending on the placement of your fence. The height of the blade guard can be adjusted up and down depending on the thickness of your piece of wood. These settings are for surfacing or facing your piece of wood. We adjust these slightly when edging. The next thing to take into account is how much material are you taking off at once. The 1, 2 and 3 on this dial relates to millimeters. We don't want to take off more than a millimeter at a time because the machine will not be able to handle it. You must avoid putting your fingers underneath the guard because that's where the spinning blade is. Finish each pass with the pressure predominantly on the outfeed table. After each pass, pick up the wood from the side, making sure you avoid the guard or the blade. Once you have achieved a completely flat face, use this against the fence to create a 90-degree edge. Do this by adjusting the setting on the blade guard. Move it so there's just enough exposed blade for your material to fit through. There's now a piece of exposed blade. You do not want to go anywhere near this. With smaller pieces of wood, there are push sticks that can be used. The pressure on the material that you need to apply when edging is in against the fence and down towards the feed and outfeed tables, making sure your fingers don't overhang. Do this until the edge runs square to the flat face you previously created. Now it's time to thickness the material. Loosen and pull out the pins on either side of the planer thicknesser. Use the black handle to lift the lid all the way up. Flip the extraction hood back over to the other side. Watch out for the tube getting tangled and make sure it catches on the latch. Switch the feeder feet on using the lever and then make sure the bed is loose. Use the handle to raise it up. Measure the thickest part of your material and then set the bed height to 1 millimeter over that. This is to do a clearance pass in case you've missed any high points on the wood. Lock the bed in place and then feed the material through. Your flat surface should be face down on the thicknessing bed. Do not reach into the machine. Never put your hand past the extraction hood. Walk to the other side of the machine to collect the wood. This can sometimes be a bit sticky, so if you need help, please ask the duty technician. If you require any further guidance on this machine, please ask the duty technician.